Braves is underway as the Salukis control the tip. Bartley gives it to Cook, the 6'2 sophomore out of St. Louis. Mentioned Bartley out of Decatur, Illinois. Left wing for Fletcher. Right side, Bartley. Thought about a three, thought better of it for Fletcher, who got off to a tremendous start at Valparaiso in the Salukis loss in Indiana on Saturday as Pippen backs in, one spins off.
This attack from the guards, they constantly come, they constantly bring effort and energy. It'll be fun to watch this matchup tonight.
The Braves again off a loss at Evansville on Saturday, equaling that 2-2 mark of SIU in conference play. Bradley 12-5 overall this year. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a perfect 8-0 here at Carver. Right corner three off the mark. And Barr taps it over to Dante Thomas, who is in double figures at Evansville. He finds Hodgson for three. And the rebound goes to the 6'10 Pippen. Bringing it up is Cook to Bartley. And they'll swing it around the court to Fletcher out of Edwardsville, Illinois. He actually played a few high school games on this court. At Edwardsville High School, a 3rd and 4th place finish his junior and senior year, so had a chance to play.
Hodgson bringing the ball up currently. Really the reason for that is to get Daryl Brown off the ball. So he's the leading scorer, as we mentioned, preseason All-Valley. Does a lot for the Braves. He handles the ball, he shoots the ball. So I think when you get Jaden in, you're going to move Daryl more to the combo guard and looking for him to get to be involved more off the ball.
Really good help side on the other end from Cook, and Hodgson, another reason why he's in. He's a terrific on-the-ball defender. Cuts the offensive player off nicely, blocked away. That shot certainly. That one poked away under Bill Self at Kansas. Spent a long time as the head man at Missouri State, even Southwest Missouri State before that. So one of the Dukes of the Valley. Huh?
Statesman of the Valley, and if you ever get a chance to hear him talk, I highly encourage you to do it. It is entertaining, educational, all of the above. He'll leave you in stitches, that's for sure. He's very, very funny.
Yeah, both these coaches, they're teachers too, in addition to being leaders, which is fun about that in this matchup in particular. As D'Lo spots up from three, and this ball high marks beyond the arc this year for the Braves. One of the flattering parts of their game this year. Very improved from a year ago when they were very improved from 2 years ago.
Yeah, they're shooting just under 40% from three, and the reason being is the ball movement. You saw it right there. Daryl Lukey's throwing the ball away there thanks to the good pressure from the Braves. 2
turnovers for SIU thus far. They don't turn the ball over a ton, just a shade over 12 per contest. As Brown's actually going to set the ball screen for Hodgson, and the stagger double coming from Barr up top, poked away. Good anticipation by Fletcher, who throws it down.
There by Fletcher, jumped the passing lane, able to go and knock it down. And again, if that's your leading scorer, the last thing you want to do is give him a dunk or free throws early on to get going.
Hodgson had a chance to answer, follows his own shot, finds DB, who got some space off the dribble. And again off the mark, and good hustle by D'Lo, but a good job by the Salukis to force it the other way. Sean Lloyd, right side, bumps into Barr.
Nice hard aggressive drive there by Lloyd. Koch in position, didn't quite get squared up in order for the ref to call that a charge, but a good effort on both parts.
Hodgson tries again from that corner, has been open, just not getting him to go just yet. Lloyd lobs underneath Pippen, who lays it in, and the Salukis out to a 6-0 lead. And the Braves will slow it down here momentarily as Brown will bring it up, guarded by Lloyd. And you hear Brian Wardle say, keep shooting. They're getting good looks, so these are good shooters, eventually going to drop down as that one touched out of bounds from both sides. And Bradley getting some looks offensively, just not going in right now.
Yeah, they're taking good shots. They've been in rhythm, and I think Coach Wardle, you certainly hear that. There will be no panic. They're going to continue to do what they do. It's a game of runs, and you want to, your goal is to maximize yours and minimize the other teams.
Hey, there you go. Dante Thomas, his second 3 of the year, gets the Braves on the board.
Bradley's been spectacular out of timeouts this year, and as I always say, that speaks to the level of focus that you have in the huddle. Everybody draws something up in a huddle, but when you can get all 5 guys to come out and execute, get the shot that you want and knock it down, it just speaks to the command with which the guys are listening.
You said it right at the top. We've seen Thomas really get the Braves.
His biggest strength is his energy level. He's all over the ball. He's away from the ball. He's active, and it's the thing you say, okay, if we can stop his back to the basket, if we can stop his three, then we'll be in good shape. It's his energy level that creates opportunities for himself and for the Braves in general.
They spread it out, and then they hand it off to Hodgson, who drives middle of the floor, looking backdoor for D'Lo instead of right side for Childs. Brown looking on the give and go for Childs. Skips it in the corner, deflected into the arms of Thomas, 7 to shoot. Childs squares up, pulls up, and left it short, and the rebound to Aaron Cook.
Now look at the Salukis, and we talked in the open about how they're probably only going to play 7 guys, so depth could be a concern. They've had some guys hurt, but don't kid yourself. They've started 4 guys pretty much every game this season, so the guys they do have are experienced. They know how to play in the Valley.
D'Lo tries from 3. Again, another good look.
I tell you guys, take that every time. You square it up, good pass, right in the shooting pocket.
Brown is on Cook, leading assist man, over 3 assists per game. He's going to give it left side for Bartley, averaging near 7 points per game. Tyler Smith-Peters into the ball game as well. Bartley, long range 3, not even close.
Give Daryl Brown a little blow, as they like to do. Daryl plays about 33, 34 minutes a game, and Cadell probably the best set shooter for the Braves and best three-point shooter, so we'll see if they can't get the lid off the basket from the 3. As you mentioned, taking good shots, and they'll start going down at some point.
And there's the confidence from Dante Thomas, the step back 14-footer. He's got all 5 for the Braves, who have cut their deficit to 2. Right corner, Smith-Peters gives back to Bartley. On the high flash is Pippen, dumped it back out. 3 in rhythm is good by Tyler Smith-Peters, just a 29% three-point shooter heading into this ball game, but he knocks down his first attempt.
That was his 64th attempt of the year. It's most on the team for the Salukis, so I tend to look at that number a little bit more than just percentages. You can go in a phone, but you don't shoot that many if you're not used to making them, particularly in practice.
Yeah, that's when you're almost scared of it, because you know eventually that percentage is going to creep up as the season goes on. D'Lo scores at the other end. And again, they get it inside to Pippen, and the Braves, as they've done against the opposition's best front court players, able to play one-on-one due to that strength of interior defense.
And the key with that is where he catches the ball. You know, if they can keep Pippen up to the high post, they're going to have a much better chance of success guarding him one-on-one. If he's able to get it low and have Elijah playing from behind, low on the block, it's a tough matchup.
Yeah, it's a really good point. They've done a really good job of keeping opposing front court players off the block, and now they have numbers in transition. Hodgson gives to D'Lo, and
give up the layup.
So Lotier Ogunleye, go back 2 games ago against Valpo here at 6 points, back to 2007 when J.J. Twy had 17. And a number around his hustle and his intensity when you look at his rebounding totals.
It's his 3rd year in the league. He's a junior. Guy's seen more experience than probably anyone on the roster outside of Dante Thomas. And remember his freshman year here, he played about 37, 38 minutes a game. He played point guard. So he's finally figuring out what his role is, and he's excelling in that, bringing the energy on the offensive end, and then usually guarding the team's best player on the defensive end.
Oh, they sealed it inside to Pippen, and there was an example. He got good position that time in an uncontested deuce. Childs trying to get around the front, couldn't quite get there, and a hand in the passing lane, and SIU out to a 4-point lead. Pick and roll, good save on the other end, and here come the Salukis. Cook has it, trying to dish to Lloyd.
Really, really hard to win on the Valley, so I think if you're the Salukis, clearly their message has been inside, 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 attack, attack, attack. You don't want to come out and shoot a lot of threes if you're them, just to try to establish a presence inside. They've done a good job of doing that, but again, the Braves defense keeping them in the game. We also spoke about the depth, and so you got to view this as a 40-minute game and not just not a 10-minute game or even a 20-minute game.
And a good board by Childs after the miss. Bounce pass to Childs on the low block, goes up, and a strong move by the freshman. Elijah Childs came in just over 8 points per game, 6 rebounds per game. Skip to Smith-Peters, extra pass, left wing as well, short.
About his percentage, not the best, but had a good look from deep the previous possession that was unable to go, and then he passed up a pretty good look on that one. So I would expect we'll see him shooting a lot more.
Well, there you go. Not this time. As Von Bray, who just checked in, the junior. Brown looks to push, skips to Cannell. Open three is short. Cannell gets his own rebound, and the Braves will pull it out after a great look and a nice find from Brown. Lotier Ogunleye, right side, left-handed dribble, kicks it back out. Brown's first attempt at a three is down. And for the Braves, their first lead of the night.
And one of the keys of our game talked about, Bradley is a very, very good defensive unit. When they make shots, particularly at home, they become elite, very hard to score on. So we'll see if that can't fuel their defense and take them up at even another level.
They influenced the shot from Pippen, and he couldn't finish at the rim. Behind the back dribble. One-handed pass to Childs, slashing in and scores. And the Braves on a 7-0 run, fueled by Darryl Brown and the freshman Childs.
Darryl Brown so good on the high pick and roll. Great dive there by Childs. And again, you know my affinity for the lefty, particularly around the basket. It's just hard to guard. It's unnatural. And two smart plays from Bradley coming out, getting Elijah the ball on the left block in particular.
Lloyd, the junior, out of Philadelphia. Right side, Gooch up top. Now just 5 to shoot. The Braves have been great all year long at forcing the opposition deep into the shot clock, and D'Lo bit it.
He leads the Braves in scoring, but he's not a volume shooter. So it's not like you don't just draw up, well, we got to keep the ball out of his hands. It's anytime he's in the game.
Lloyd talked a lot about connections to the Valley. His uncle, Lewis Lloyd, Missouri Veteran of the Year, going all the way back to 80-81 at Drake. Played in the NBA as well. Good player for the Salukis.
It's a great league with a lot of history. I'm sure we'll have time to get into the standings a little later because this year is going to be a lot of fun.
Von Bray on the pump fakes, got space. Always has good balance on that fadeaway and shows it there.
He's a really tough matchup. He's 6'9", doesn't put it on the floor a ton, but boy, he can really shoot it when he gets his feet set. He's been making that fadeaway for the better part of all year as well, so that's something he's kind of added to his game over the last year and a half, but he's a tough matchup on the offensive end for the Braves.
Quick trigger on the other end. Stradniks is good. And Brown will bring it up. Crossover on Lloyd, right corner for Von Bray.
We've seen that a couple of times. Nice ceiling by the Salukis down low has enabled them to get a couple of easy baskets.
Good jump pass. Quick trigger three is down by Cannell. Brown to Cannell. Said that a few times this year, and he knocks down the three. Good find underneath, and influenced by the combination of Barr and Von Bray. And to walk it up in transition. They've been on the pump fake, pull up from the elbow, and it spins off.
Nice rebound there by Fletcher, really attacking the glass hard. One of the strengths of the Braves is attacking the offensive glass, and so Fletcher to eat that one up was good to limit the position for the Braves.
Lloyd puts it on the floor, gives it to Stradniks, the junior out of Latvia. Lays it in back to a three-point game. Cannell again on the pump fake. Defender runs off the ball screen, entry pass to Barr, and I believe he traveled prior to that shot.
And it's more about the quality of shots that they're getting, really, than, the Bill Belichick way, I guess. You look at the process more so than just the outcome. So all of their first 7 threes were good looks, able to make two of the last 3, spread the floor a little bit with Von Bray coming in the game. So they're going to keep shooting them, that's for sure, as they should.
Pippen off the glass and good. I got a note from Bobby Parker before the last break that we should call this the all uncles game. We just mentioned Sean Lloyd and Lewis Lloyd, his uncle. No blood relation, I guess, but kind of like an uncle for Darryl Brown and Petty Hardaway, and obviously we've talked about Ryan Stefanovic, his uncle at Mizzou. And then, of course, Kavion Pippen. We'd be remiss, especially in this neck of the woods, if we don't talk about his uncle. And he's wearing his uncle's number namesake, I guess, if that's a real term. Scottie Pippen, out of Hamburg, Arkansas.
Pippen off to a good start tonight. He's done a nice job establishing position down low. Finished with the left on the last play, and he's been a force for him in the middle.
Really good shot blocker as well. KVO and Pippen, a transfer in his junior year, and he's got some good touch around the rim. It's funny, last game we called the son of Rick Smits. Now we get the nephew of Scottie Pippen as Cannell knocks down that jumper, and a lot of 90s flavor, which we love around this part. I'm sort of expecting next game we do somebody to be related to like John Starks or something like that of the Knicks at this rate. But Nate Cannell knocks down a three, draws the defender in the air, quickly 5 points off the bench for the sophomore.
Yeah, again, Cannell coming off the bench tonight.
As well in the second half. As Fletcher, a real strong 82% at the line.
They brought a little pressure before. They're looking to get out and run and maximize possessions in this game to try to wear the Salukis down. So that'll be something to watch as we get into the second half.
Missed them both. Thomas, the Braves' leading rebounder, and the MVC's active leading rebounder with the rebound that trip. Childs gives to Thomas, looking on the back cut to D'Lo, and a foul.
He made a really hard plant and a really hard cut, so it certainly looked like a foul just because D'Lo was the aggressor and going to the basket. And not a save a layup, too, so not a bad foul.
Nearly got a three out of it instead. Good look from Brown, couldn't connect. Smith Peters, the senior out of Harrisburg, Illinois. A terrific passer. I thought he walked. No call, and driving baseline cut off. Good help from Childs. Back out to Pippen, and they'll reset. Switch courts with it. Will the Salukis with 7 to shoot. Lloyd, bounce pass on the pick and roll, blocked away by Dante Thomas. The Braves lead the Valley in blocks per contest. And on the give and go, Thomas had it stripped. Good hustle.
Ball pressure and how they guard the screen. It's the secondary and the tertiary help that comes from that.
And there's so much Childs first in Valley games only, which is a small sample size of 4 of over 2 per game. And speaking of Childs, he flanks one off the back iron, and Smith Peters the rebound.
Yeah, it all starts with ball pressure. That way, that if you get good ball pressure, if you can guard the dribble and not get beat off the bounce, that enables your help. But it's also the rotations. And when you trust your rotations, you can afford to be a little more aggressive guarding the ball, and that's what Bradley's been able to do really well all year.
Smith Peters flips one up, trying to draw the foul, and they didn't buy it.
And start consistently making shots, particularly from the outside, as Southern Illinois has done most of their damage on the interior.
Lloyd from the free throw line, no good. Another chance for the Salukis. Finds Lloyd, who tries a three. And there's Lotier Ogunleye for D'Lo, his second rebound of the night. Childs looking to post up Thomas, and it slips through his. He's got 4 points to go along with the rebound. Pippen leads all scorers with 6. Thomas and Cannell both with 5 for the Braves. Just inside the arc, nicely timed by Fletcher. On the block finds Lloyd, and they'll slow it down as the Braves get back on D in transition.
And the other key to the game for the Salukis was to feed Fletcher. He's been quiet offensively so far, which again is one of the Braves' calling cards on defense, is really limiting the opposition's leading scorer. Fletcher with just 1 field goal attempt right now, but able to make a nice defensive play on Brown there.
And there's Jaden Hodgson, always in the right spot, gets the deflection.
Their own tendencies and what they're really looking for. So tonight, again, they're letting them play, and the score is probably a little lower because of that, but again, it's a little refreshing from last time we were out here.
Yeah, it's hard to get in a rhythm from both teams last game. There's less rhythm in that game than Nickelback has watching that. There's an offensive foul.
Is the moving screen. It's really something that may be one area where the officials want to, at least I could use a refresher on what the consistency is, because I can't quite figure out what is and what is not a moving screen.
Thomas tried to go old school off the glass, couldn't get it to drop.
Nice rebound by Pippen there again. He's got good position. He skied high and grabbed it with the one hand and able to secure it.
Braves by 5. This matches their largest lead of the half. SIU's led by as many as 6. D'Lo in there getting scrappy once again, coast to coast, up and 1. The last person that's going to shy away from any sort of contact driving to the basket, Lotier Ogunleye, along with 4 rebounds. And the Salukis will bring it up. I absolutely hate the cliche saying of this is a must-win game, and nothing is 5 games of the season, but you're certainly for both sides would feel good about staying over that 500 mark in conference play. And Bray's having some difficult opponents coming up on the road in Loyola and ISU next 2 games. And just want to protect here at home. So
it is really hard to win on the road, as Coach Henson and Coach Wardle both no doubt know. So you're absolutely right. Again, it's probably too early to be obsessed with the conference standings, but you don't want to drop games at home.
And Hodgson knocks one down. Brian Wardle earlier in the game, even though he missed his first 3 from 3 set, kept shooting. And no hesitation from Hodgson. He knocks down the triple.
A great shot again, in rhythm. Pass hits him in the shooting pocket, and that's where Bradley's been so for the Salukis so far. They were stuck on 19 for a while, and Pippen able to get the ball on the left block and have a nice jump hook over the left shoulder.
Yeah, 8 of their 21 points for Pippen. The ball screen, Cadell right side. Von Bray will try, and that one's too strong. Von Bray 3rd in the Valley in 3-point percentage heading into tonight. Spinning baseline, and
I think Bradley's going to really look to push and maybe tire him out just by making him run the floor rim to rim.
Pretty good foul. His cousin Taylor was actually one of the all-time great volleyball players at SIU. To continue on his family tree. Hodgson gets the ball screen, goes with it for Barr. Barr rolls, Hodgson drives in, opposite corner.
From 3-point shooting, so it's a nice play to draw the charge and prevent that.
SIU with wins this conference season at UNI, who's still winless in Valley play, and then a win at home against Evansville. Right corner 3, spins out on a good look from Fletcher, and the shot clock is now turned off as the Braves will bring it up. Bradley, of course, real strong offensive lineup.
I would expect a 3 of some kind here, maybe a driving kick or getting Nate or Von Bray coming off of a couple of screens.
And again, the Braves have been really good out of timeouts and out of bounds plays all year. Here's the ball screen. Brown drives in, kicks it to a cutting Thomas. No, couldn't finish. Rebound off the rim as well, and that to begin the half.
And as it usually is for Bradley, fueled by the defense, but also the rebounding. SIU with just 5 offensive rebounds, 0 second chance points. So I would look for Bradley to increase the possessions a little bit this second half.
So SIU will have their first possession here in the second 20 minutes of play. Bringing it up is Cook. Came in averaging just under 10 points per game. They find Pippen where they had their most success in the half. Rolls off with the left. And Lloyd and 1. He'll shoot 1 here, 3 from the line tonight. First 3 points of the half to SIU. Cutting is D'Lo, gets the ball screen. Hodgson from Thomas, top of the circle for Childs, gives to Brown. Left side, D'Lo. In the corner, he's Childs looking to post up Thomas, and so they swing it around to Darrell Brown Jr. Finds space, right hand, and good hang time. And the sophomore out of Memphis finishes at the rim.
Good closeout from Marcus Bartley on the 3 there, and great recognition by Darrell not to force the 3 where it looked like he had it. Go hard. He's really good at hanging in the air, and a lot of times he'll draw a foul on that, but able to finish that one with a good, strong move to the basket.
The short baseline backing, and that's got to be an offense.
Physical, as we've talked about, and he's not afraid of contact, and he's always got his hands on you or around you. He's just very aggressive, and Fletcher, I think, some frustration certainly coming out there. Averaging 14 points a game, only taking 2 shots thus far, and got a little aggressive, lowered the shoulder. A pretty obvious call for the official there, and a nice job by D'Lo.
Hodgson drives in with the right hand. He scores. Looking to feed Childs on the inside. He wasn't open, so he took matters into his own hands. And Jaden Hodgson now with 5 points, already exceeding his season average. Cook run off the ball screen by Childs. Left side, Lloyd. Hand in the face by D'Lo. Smith-Peters gets the high ball screen from Pippen. Jump pass corner. Fletcher's 3 is good.
Nice ball movement there. Good patience, and Fletcher able to knock one down from the corner. Is a nice shot.
Smith-Peters, a terrific passer, as he has been throughout his career in Carbondale. Good hang time on the floater again by D'Lo, but too strong. And Lloyd, the broad-bodied Saluki guard, will bring it up. The a Rip Hamilton face mask on as well. Skip pass, Smith-Peters, being guarded by Hodgson, now 10 to shoot. Here comes Pippen to set the ball screen. Good recovery by Childs, and right hand is good by Smith-Peters. And a timeout taken.
And Bradley still able to cling to the 4-point lead because of their defense and depth being such an important part of this game. So Saluki's off to a good start, but you got to look at this with 17 minutes to go and not just the first 3.
The Braves always getting a high percentage look out of a timeout. That was a pretty good percentage, and from 3, and Cannell tries again. And Lloyd tracks it down.
Two good looks for Nate there. He's shooting 39% on the year. He got no problem with either of those. And
low flash on the low block, good help, and nearly stripped and stolen away, but they go back out to Bartley now, 9 to shoot. Bartley, right wing Fletcher, good closeout by Cannell. He nearly traveled. Bartley's gonna have to launch, and off the front of the rim. The hands by Cannell. DB in transition, between the legs dribble, gets the ball, screens, got some room, back out to Childs. He'll try a 3. And a little too ambitious on the
he went kind of like a quarterback. He went through his progressions right there. The roll wasn't there. The fade to the corner wasn't there. Able to kick it back to Childs, a shot that he's been knocking down this year. So a nice play by Bradley or by Darrell. You'll mind that shot.
Good anticipation, cutting off the lane by Hodgson, and he finds Childs, who throws it down, and Childs is going to get the credit, as he should. That was a fun slam. However, Hodgson just anticipated exactly where Bartley was going to go, and that resulted in the turnover.
Salukis again, I wouldn't be surprised if they draw something up for Fletcher. He's noticeably frustrated, visibly frustrated on the last couple of possessions. Bradley doing a nice job, throwing a lot of different bodies at him and being real active with him.
Good feed inside and good position from Stradniks, and you mentioned had a good burst in the first half off the bench for SIU and finishes at the rim this trip. Brown with 5 points, now with 7 points. Bradley's leading scorer, who's been in double figures nearly every game this year. Got 5 assists in the ball game tonight, too. Hodgson forces Bartley near the timeline. Now full head of steam. Good run off by Childs, and they find Lloyd, and Fletcher answers at the other end.
Nice ball movement from the Salukis there again, and good recognition by Bartley on Braves. Think we're going to go for a steal, and he recognized that at a good cross-court skip pass.
Thomas tracks it down. Good play by Thomas, too. As soon as he got that ball, he went right back up. Didn't give the defender a chance to influence that shot.
In the open, we discussed it, but it's his consistent energy level. He's so hard to guard because he's just always going for the ball. Between he and D'Lo, you really have to be committed all the way through the possession. Really what that lends itself to is missed free throws, silly turnovers, things like that. Though that's what you see the last 8 minutes. So that's something to...
Is that depth and potentially wearing down the opposition who's got I don't want to say a tighter row options to go down the line in that bench too. So could play well into the Braves, who have shortened their bench a little bit tonight too, but still seems to be a good thing for Bradley.
Yeah, they allocate the minutes, and there's really no stat for that. It just kind of, you can just see it. You can see it almost even in Fletcher right now. He's visibly a little frustrated, and I think part of that comes because you're tired.
And Fletcher, part of the NBC All-Improved team a year ago, uncharacteristically not great at the line tonight as that one slips through the fingertips of Thomas.
He was getting ready to go flush that one.
Eyes really lit up. Looked like me when you put a steak in front of me at Alexander's. Good anticipation by Von Bray. Got his hand in the passing lane, and they find Thomas. There's the flush.
Started on the defensive end again. Braves go a little bit smaller with Thomas and Von Bray, and that's the first time really we've seen a Brave using their quickness to get around Pippen and create the steals. Nice defensive play by Von Bray. Lloyd
jump stop, back out to Smith-Peters. Again, brother Kyle was on the 05 and 06 Saluki tournament teams as a walk-on. Missed last year due to a medical red shirt and gets it in, and that one never touched the rim. Nearly a 30-second shot clock violation. And the Braves look to push again, the shovel to
third level of rotation. Next thing you know, he's forced to kind of throw up a fadeaway that doesn't have a great look. So that's what makes them special and what makes them really hard to play against is, okay, I finally get free, I worked hard.
A lot about multiple efforts. This is multiple efforts by multiple players. That makes it really difficult as an offensive player. As Thomas, this is another area that 75% heading into tonight from the line. Certainly much improved over his past couple of seasons as well. And man, has he been fun to watch throughout his whole career, but this year, maybe even more so than we've seen the last couple. Working really hard defensively too. As Bradley has opened up a 9-point lead after SIU had cut it to 4 here in the half. Hesitation dribble. Lloyd fed it off by Pippen, but he lost it on his way up. Thomas wisely gives to Brown, and the Braves will launch from 3. That's off the mark. In transition, do you think Brown there saw potential of, hey, if I miss, I have 2 rebounders crashing the rim too? Or
probably you kind of sensed the game going one way, and I was no stranger to a heat check either when I played. So sometimes it just looks it looks too good to pass up sometimes.
Cannell can answer no. And there's D'Lo, wrestles it.
Because it almost went in, but was able to get 2 free throws for himself just by being heady and sensing the foul that was coming, threw it up and
here on this court, and he makes the first. 7 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. That one spins up.
I think as you look at the narrative of this game too, Bradley with an 8-point lead at half. Southern Illinois comes out, their pants on fire a little bit, playing really hard. They work hard, their energy levels up, they get it to 4, they got some momentum, and now, you know, there's 11 minutes to go, and Bradley's been able to take that back out to a 7-point game. So not only have they only cut the lead by 1, but they expended a lot of energy to get there. So as we continue to monitor the depth, something that's important to note down the stretch.
Short baseline jumper from Pippen, and not that he can't make that, but you'd much rather have him shooting that than going to the basket. Oh, good hesitation dribble, but Cannell had it poked away from behind. Up ahead, and Cook drives in, and the foul. An 82% foul shooter. The old-fashioned 3-point play, and back to a 4-point game we go.
2 good responses from the Salukis. Again, Bradley on the verge of maybe busting this one open, getting it out to 12, 13-point lead, and Southern Illinois made some plays.
Hand off to Cannell, left side D'Lo. Facing up is Childs, now backs in. Good pivot, had it blocked.
On it and challenged him at the rim. And that's a
10 points at Evansville. At West in Kansas City, Kansas City on the Missouri side, went to the Missouri State Championship game as a senior, and already emerged as an immediate impact guy, as everyone thought he would when he got here, but he's even exceeded some expectations, and great player in this league for a long time. Bradley's gone zone the last couple of trips. Through the fingertips of Stradnick.
Different to think about, you know, obviously you want to watch Smith Peters on there, as he will put it up for sure. So I don't anticipate that they will stick in the zone long term, but a good couple possessions there.
Von Bray gives to Brown. Here comes the ball screen. BB with a left-handed dribble and
good individual effort.
Braves will stack it up, and Brown has it. Here the big B logo at center court. Bumped by.
Look at the fouls, and oh, they've got 5 fouls to 0 or whatever it is, and all the fouls are is it's indicative of how the game's being played. So I think as we mentioned, the Salukis came out playing very aggressively to open this half. Bradley has now matched that, and the officiating's matched that as well. As when there's more possessions, you're going to the basket harder, there's going to be more foul calls. So and again, you want to in the second half get to the bonus as soon as you can.
Left side here is Smith Peters. Pippen out to set the screen for him. Looking to post up Pippen. Brown over to help. Swipe.
And they had the mismatch they wanted with Pippen. They worked hard to get him the ball, and the help was coming from Darryl Brown, so he was going up against 2 guards. So probably smart to go ahead and take a foul and prevent a post bucket.
Good touch pass to Lloyd, who is bumped and now all 18 games for the Salukis this season. 3 points allowed. Point percentages, kind of an area that hasn't been recognized as much. We talked a lot about their prowess defense. even better, you could say, allowing just 43% from two-point range. Shows you they're not giving up a lot of shots at the rim, and when they are, they're influenced. Hodgson finds Von Bray, left side, jump stop, goes up. No, Thomas there to clean it up.
To see the personnel matchups and trying to draw Pippen a little bit further from the basket.
Thomas with 13.7 rebounds. And 7 of those are Bradley Hall of Famers, so he's in some pretty darn good company. Childs nipping at his heels, though, and he would become just the 4th.
We've seen this from Bradley a couple times throughout the year, but not shooting a great percentage from 3 right now, 4 of 19, and they're not turning the ball over. They're playing a pretty clean game, other than the 3 ball hasn't been going down. So I think down the stretch, I would expect Cannell to get free. He's missed some good looks. Hodgins missed some good looks. They will, and they should keep shooting. So I would expect some 3s to drop here down the stretch.
Von Bray couldn't quite get to that one, and then an uncontested deuce by Pippen, who now has 11 points. One of 2 Salukis in double figures, along with Lloyd. Von Bray steps out, got space, and hits from 3.
So just what I said, Pippen's going to struggle to guard on the perimeter. He's going to struggle to guard Von Bray. They use a really nice ball screen, create the mismatch, don't recover in time. Von Bray able to get a clean look. That was a really nice recognition of the personnel.
Came in at 53% from 3, and a deflection and a steal. Here's Thomas. He's running the floor. And
for Bradley to expand the lead, but again, credit to SIU for making plays and keeping a 6-point game with 8 minutes to go.
Dante Thomas, you saw his stats, 15 points. He got 7 rebounds. He's coming off a double-double last Wednesday, 19 points, 13 boards against Valpo. Smith-Peters nearly left his feet. Gives to Bartley. Again, a good defensive sequence out of the timeout so far from the Braves. Smith-Peters knifes in, and a whisk shooter. First one rolls in, and so deep into their shot clock typically, to be exact on average, which is the 8th longest in the country. And it seems like SIU kind of knew that coming in and has been willing to put up shots earlier on, due to knowing how suffocating the Braves can get over a 30-second span.
And they don't gamble a lot, but it's not a pack line defense when you think of a UVA or Wisconsin.
Right.
It's just very sound fundamentals. They close out with a hand high. They're always in your shooting lane, in your passing lane. So not surprising that it takes teams longer to get a good look.
Bartley, right side, Lloyd. Teardrop is no good. Pippen's there, and the Braves collapse underneath, and I think Hodgson.
One of the things that makes Bradley good is it's just the non-obvious, that Pippen looked like he was going to get that and have a chance for a putback. Their DB comes in and gets a nice strip and is able to at least allow the defense to establish themselves.
That's a big 3 on the second chance variety, and that cuts the lead to 1 for the Braves. Hodgson beats his defender off the dribble, gives to Thomas, and a good answer on the other end.
SIU making a little run. Now Bradley's the one, stopping it and pushing it out. So this has been a fun second half, as we anticipated. More possessions, more scoring both ways. It's going to be an exciting last 6 minutes.
Steals. I feel like he's been really involved and played really well tonight.
We're going to call a foul and get D'Lo going the other way, possibly for a 1-and-1. They don't call it. Now they look at each other. Okay, well, it's off of Bradley, but probably kind of a possession call. Maybe should have been Bradley's ball, but and as we've seen in these games, they come down the stretch, things get chippy, it gets more physical, and it becomes harder to officiate.
Right side, Smith-Peters goes baseline underneath the hoop, circles back, gives to Pippen. He traveled. They didn't call it. And as a result, SIU gets a bucket. Hodgson in the corner. Childs pump fakes on a 3. The Braves leading by 1. 5.5 to go. Thomas backs in. Finger roll rolls in.
Up to 19 for Thomas. Again, so really nice to see a guy get rewarded when he's not a... He doesn't kill you with 20 points a game. It's his effort, it's his energy, it's his offensive rebounds, but nice to see him get rewarded with a 19-point night tonight, and it's certainly been the star for the Braves.
Ties his season high that he got under a week ago at home against Valpo. Skipped on the low block. Fletcher up, no, and the Braves come away with the rebound. Couple of men down. Let's see if Bradley pushes it. They do. Brown off the glass and good.
So tough. That's the third time he's done that tonight. Just hangs in the air. Again, we've seen him this year. He draws a lot of fouls on that play. Has not drawn the fouls tonight, but has done a really good job finishing. Bradley, again, able to withstand the run by SIU, get it back out to 5. It's a great play by Daryl Brown.
And Barry Henson sensing the...
We got it to 5. We got to get it back out to 8 and 10 and really get this to where it was when we started the second half and close this game out.
Bartley being guarded by Brown, isolated right side, up top Lloyd, good help and recovery. 3 to shoot, they gotta go. Launched by Smith-Peters, that didn't touch the rim. Second shot off, but they didn't call it. Luckily, no harm on Bradley, and then a bumping foul called on.
Really difficult thing to do, and they have a hard job. Big free throw from Dale Brown right there, front into the 1-and-1.
And he makes them both. 7 to go. And the Braves a little bit of token pressure after the make. And Brown slaps the floor, urging his unit on for a stop. They skip it. Lloyd drives quickly, baseline, gives to Pippen, blocked by Barr, and tipped around. Pippen has it again, and they go right side. Lloyd again, pump fake. He put his head down and one on the.
Impressive to watch, and certainly happy for a young kid like that who works hard to get the results on the court as well.
Coming from Southern Illinois. Hodgson jump pass to Thomas. And that pressure, if anything else, forced the Braves to a little bit slower getting.
It's back to man-to-man.
Man-to-man, yeah. They put hands up to sort of disguise zone, but they're going man-to-man. 6 to shoot. DB's got to create. He goes opposite the screen, underneath, reverse layup, no, and I don't think it ever touched.
And coming out in the zone and then switching back to the man-to-man, giving Bradley a lot to think about.
Bartley to bring it up. The high ball screen from Pippen. Dumped down low to Pippen on the high block. Pump fake for Cook. They give to Pippen. Kicks it in the corner. Here comes a 3. It's down. Smith-Peters now with 13. 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. The Braves have been able to answer every time SIU's got it back within the slimmest of margins. Brown gives to D'Lo. Right side, Hodgson on the wing. Calling for the screen from Barr. He gets it, splits the defenders. Little giant killer is good. Jaden Hodgson, a big answer on the other end.
First time we've seen that tonight, splits the defense. Jaden's done an excellent job of getting deep into the lane. It's created some dump-offs for him. That time creates just a little floater. Nice, was in rhythm though, good shot.
The touch inside to Pippen, back to the basket. One-on-one, kicks it back out. Cook drives in, lost it, gets it back. Smith-Peters, back to Cook. Pippen just inside the arc. Cook can tie it. No, and a good defensive sequence by the Braves, and now they can extend it to a 2-possession ball game, under 2 to go.
Seeing a good example there, Jaden Hodgson again closing out high. Thought that was going to be a good look, but again, he kind of takes the shooting lane away and forces a more difficult shot than what was originally anticipated.
D'Lo, 7 to go. Gautier Ogunleye working off a ball screen in the corner. Hodgson's 3 is no good. Online just a little short. Cook, hesitation dribble, timeout taken. Lloyd, backcourt to retrieve it. And the Braves mix it up this time and go zone. On the seams, the touch inside, left hand, and a touch by Pippen.
Credit to him. I mean, he's been equally as good with the left as he has with the right tonight. He's a tough back to the basket player.
Thomas on the floor, lays it up, and to clear out all those help defenders. Reference as well. Chance to make a 2-possession game from Thomas, who's perfect from the line. And the Braves back to a 4-point lead. Crowd on their feet at Carver. Here we go. Fletcher steps in. He is fouled. 1 of 4 tonight. 2 free throws. Makes the first. Just not enough time to force yourself to go coast to coast. We'll see.
And Bradley getting their free throw shooters in the game as they should. And breaking the timeline is the first thing you want to do.
So they're going to deny the inbounds. 2-point game, and they get it into Cannell. Still time to get it across. Jump pass to Cannell. 76% foul shooter. He gives to Hodgson. And now the...
So even a miss, you know, you got to be careful because those guys are coming.
First one is their ability to convert at the line to this point. And it's a 2.
And draw something up. Smart, but really smart by Bradley to show pressure here.
Trying to slow down SIU. They get the timeout. That is the... Let's see what they do.
It is going to be a zone.
They're going to be a zone, and it's going to take some time off the clock. And it's working so far. Nothing going, and a turnover. Ending that zone, not giving any sort of space. As Hodgson makes the first team. Hodgson 3 of 3. He's now got 10 points. And in my opinion, maybe the best game I've seen him Carver Arena, and he's got 11. And the Braves are going to stay perfect.